understand na hindi kami komportableng bumoto today based on this if we're not able to clarify kung ano talaga yung mga laman. But I'd like to put on record that even informally, meaning not here, whether it's in the lounge, in my office, in his office, Senator Win has been totally transparent of what are the changes and what are the committee report. Wala tayong tanong doon, no? Even sa majority, we had a instant caucus yesterday for some tricky issues, and I appreciate the conversation. But in the spirit of true transparency, and because I am inspired today, because Senator Lito Lapid is focused and intently listening to me. So when that happens, I would like to really do my best. Thank you, Senator Lapid, for being here today and focusing on that. Actually, ang questions ko, Senator Lapid, nasa Region 3 din. So, Mr. Chairman, 2 questions lang sa trains. Yung Mindanao Railway, but because I'm reminded, because Senator Lapid is here, naglagay din ba tayo ng pondo sa Clark Subic? Because ang sinabi ng DOTR,
2026.
hinalo pa nila yung Clark Subic train sa Central Luzon papuntang Southern Luzon. Kung hihintayin mo pa yon, tatagal pa ng husto. But in those 2 instances, they agreed that if we put a little bit of money, they can start the program, especially sa Mindanao Railway, because kompleto na yon. Nagka-problema lang sa funding with the Chinese concessional loans, no?
Yun sa information ho namin during the budget briefing and also yung mga briefings before, apparently nag-withdraw ang DOTR doon sa Chinese ODA because of delay, and also wala nang interest for both parties to pursue it. But in the 2025 budget, under the unprogrammed funds, meron silang inallocate under the program funds, may na-allocate na 200 million pesos. And ito yung ginagamit nila for preliminary works. In fact, may nakita ko sa news na meron na silang mga parcellary surveying, so ginagamit nila ito. For 2026, wala po dahil walang loan na request.
Yes, but Mr. President, that's why we have interpellations, di ba? So ang hindi naging proactive ni hindi naging reactive ang DOTR doon. Parang sa kanila, hintayin natin yung loans. Ballpark lang, magkano ang total cost ng subway sa Metro Manila?
Okay. Sorry, may dagdag lang po ako, Minority Leader. Sa 2026, merong 1 billion for the Mindanao Railway under GOP counterpart. Ang wala lang doon yung loan. So they're expecting hopefully na magkaroon ng loan in the next few.
I'll not belabor the point, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, but just to give you a apples to apples comparison, magkano po in general yung ballpark figure ng ating Metro Manila subway? It's about 500 billion ba?
Alam ko mga ano ho yan, mga, if my memory serves me correctly, mga 400 billion dollars.
Okay.
400 billion dollars. Sorry, $4 billion.
$4 billion.
Yeah.
So mga 200 billion
pesos. Yeah,
okay.
more or less. Mga
Sa phase 1 ng Mindanao Railway, it's 100B. And they said that if they get 10B, they can hit the ground running. So what is 10B compared to the 6.7 trillion at meron tayong unprogrammed na 170. So if you want, lagyan natin ng 5B sa program, 5B sa unprogram, although we're against the unprogram. But my point is, Mr. President, hanggang kailan maghihintay yung mga taga Mindanao na alam naman natin pag sinabi mong next year, loan pa lang yon, that's another 2-3 years, then another 2-3 years bago ma-implement. But they said because nga nag-pull out lang yung financing,
Chinese funding,
everything is ready. And even if they get funding from whether the Japanese or the Koreans, the Australians, wherever, no? May 25% counterpart pa rin naman, which is 25 billion. So they did not put any, there's no hesitation in their part. Tinanong ko diretso. kung bibigyan namin kayo ng 10 to 25, kaya nyo na ba simulan? Yes. So, in fact, I would even say, why doesn't the Maharlika Fund invest there? O why don't we package it sa ibang mga oligarchs natin na kung kukuha kayo ng mga highway na gagawin yung tollway, pero eto naman, ano yun rin. But ang point ko, Mr. President, this is such a great opportunity. Nalagyan natin ng 5-10 billion. Let's not let this opportunity go away. Yesterday, we were speaking about 50 billion. We were talking about certain pricing.
1 billion.
So meron tayong leeway doon eh, 'di ba? So may I appeal to the chair
Yes.
that whether it's 5 sa program, 5 sa program, let's show Mindanao na despite the politics that is going on, hindi sila casualty sa
Yeah.
sa politics, 'di
Ako
ba?
ay support po yung Mindanao Railway dahil alam po natin na ang Mindanao is our food basket. Diyan po talaga nanggagaling marami sa ating mga produce at ang weather ho nila relatively smooth throughout the year. Pero ang transportation logistics mahal din kung hindi ho gagawin yung ating railway system. So magandang idea ho yan.
I'm not
Minority
that sure,
Leader.
Mr. President, about yung pagtaas ng population sa home city mo, no? But kaming magkatabi, Muntinlupa at saka Taguig, ano kami, two of the highest in Metro Manila and I think in the country. And basically lumilipat is from Central Luzon, from Bicol,
Yeah, tama
from
po kayo.
Visayas, Mindanao. Kasi nga, pag nakitang may trabaho, may libre ang edukasyon, hinahatid sa bahay yung mga gamot, di ba, lumilipat dito.
Yeah.
But you know, if we start building the railway, I'm 100% sure yung ating mga mall owners, yung mga land developers, will start their development kung saan yung mga stasyon ng tren eh. So it will be such a good sign in the midterm, no?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit cautious kasi of administration starting something pag last year na nila eh.
Yeah.
For many reasons. I mean, sa first year ng Marcos administration, the former DOTR secretary, parang biglang delay yung sa subway sa Metro Manila eh, di ba? So from having stations opened in 2026, naging 2027, naging 2028. Pag hindi mo administrasyon ang ginawa, ang daling ituro dun sa past eh, no? So if they actually start it in 2026, imagine you have the whole 2026, the whole 2027. And it will really be a good sign that despite, you know, some how do I put it diplomatically, animosity between the president and the vice president, painful discussions of impeachment between the House of Representatives and the Senate as an impeachment court, hindi casualty ang Mindanao because we will still put that funding. And 10 billion is basically the budget of 2 or 3 congressional districts, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
So may I earnestly push that we include that in the amendments today. Kahit 5-10 billion, kahit saan program yung
We'll confer and consult with His Honor kung saan magiging accounts doon. But I support that. Maganda ho talaga ang Mindanao
Well,
Railway. No?
Senator Villanueva was whispering to me that there's only 12 senators here, but I was informed my sister is here, so there's 13 already. So we can decide. The second question also is, it's music to the ears of our majority leader that meron tayong quorum. So the second one, I do not know if fully capable na ang DOTR of building the Subic Clark,
Yeah, add natin.
unlike the ano, but can we consider that sa BICAM if they say that they can do it? Kasi yung sa Mindanao, sinabi na nilang diretsuhan eh. Yung sa Subic Clark, they said na totoong since 2016, 2017 pinag-uusapan.
Yeah.
Nung
Naalala
una
ko yun.
hiningi natin yon as a grant and then ngayon pinackage nila. Ang problema sa package ano eh, pag hindi na-approve yung buong package, hindi rin siya approve.
Subic Clark Railway tayo. Wala. Yeah. Yung Subic Clark po, alam ko it's right now nasa parang feasibility study.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Alam ko
But ang
nandoon.
problema nga, sinama yung feasibility study sa isang malaking network. Sinama
Sa
pati dun
NSCR,
sa
sa North-South
yes.
Commuter Rail.
Oo.
Yeah, I
But
remember.
anyway, let me just put
Yeah,
that on
sige po.
record and be a kind colleague to Senator Lapid who's from Pampanga, no, Pampanga Tarlac. and see sa BICAM if we have some room to
Yeah.
to look at
Ako
that
ako,
project.
in principle, minority leader ako, I support transportation, logistics. Talagang naghahabol lang tayo. In fact, yung mga ginagawa ho natin ngayon is just playing catching
Yes.
up. So I support that, Mr.
No,
President.
and I will tell you why. It's because of our experience in Fort Bonifacio or BGC. Imagine ang buong Fort Bonifacio is over 500 hectares, ang BGC is 100 hectares, but look at the development. Samantalang ang Clark is between 27,000 to 30 something thousand hectares, depende kung isasama mo yung mountainous areas, Puera pa Subic. So if you can really fix you have a beautiful international airport in Clark, you have a deep port in Subic. Subic is very not only symbolic but important in our fight sa West Philippine Sea, di ba? It's in the future, pwede talagang ayusin ng ating Navy yon. So if you really have a train
Tama ho kayo.
for goods and people between Clark and Subic, even yung synergy na inimagine ng mga Amerikano when they built it in the late 1800s, early 1900s, can be fully utilized if we have that, no?
Tama.
But yun nga, natatakpan ng mga, how do I say it, no? Yung mga mas urgent. So I think these two railways, Mindanao and Subic Clark, are both as important as others like the subway. But sometimes kasi pag napapanood mo sa news, araw-araw na traffic, nagiging mas urgent yung iba. Pero actually, in terms of importance, magsing importante sila. In fact, I would argue it's even more important because if people move, ang ganda-ganda ng Bulacan, Tarlac, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija. So, but ang problema nga is the infrastructure, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. So, Mr. President, ako sinusuportahan ko itong railway system natin, and conceptually, Mr. President, we will support that in the budget. Ang i-consult ko na lang ang ating minority leader in DOTR on how much to put para malaman natin na magagastos ho nila. For Subic Clark Railway for 2026, meron ng right-of-way fund under BCDA of amounting to 70 million pesos.
Okay.
So meron na rin silang intention to start the right-of-way acquisition for both projects actually.
Yes.
For both projects.
So, the next question is unprogrammed funds. No, you were telling me yesterday, Mr. Chairman, and let me give you that opportunity, that although the majority wishes to keep it, or the palace wishes to keep it, because in my research before 2022, walang unprogrammed walang ganun release, no? And you confirmed to me that in the past 3 years may unprogrammed pero lump sum.
Yung sagip portion.
Yes.
Meron doon unprogrammed sagip. At itong sagip portion is lump sum, no?
And not to use this as an opportunity to defend my colleague Senator Joel, but you know, it's a little bit crazy that you have that fund that it's actually the executive that can release, but a district engineer is claiming that he can have it released for a senator without the senator knowing it. So I leave that to those investigating, but I'm just stating for the record na nakakabuang isipin na pwedeng ganon. So my first option is to ask na tanggalin to. But if we keep it, the chairman was telling me he has some reforms and some special provisions to make sure that it will not be abused, and it will not, because I don't want, let me make it clear, I don't want it to be a black hole.
No. Tama ho kayo dyan.
Can you imagine if it's a black hole, then pag may na-release, anyone can say, si Governor ganito yung nagpa-release. Si Senator ganito nagpa-release. Si ganito pag-release. Wala kang kalaban-laban in this environment and in this in the present environment, no? Yes, go ahead, Majority Leader. I will always yield to you.
So just to clarify, I just want to clarify, Mr. President, the query of the good senator, the minority floor leader. Ang usapan nga natin ay dapat wala ng unprogrammed funds. Kung meron pang naiwan unprogrammed funds, Mr. President, may we request the chairperson to tell us what the unprogrammed funds is going to be used for, like specifically. Kasi dyan po nagkaroon ng problema dito sa investigations na ito, yung scandals. I think the idea was dapat wala ng unprogrammed funds. But if the good sponsor can tell us what the unprogrammed funds are for, to be clear to all of us
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
Then after that, Mr. Chairman, maybe I will yield, but I have some proposals. But if any of our colleagues have proposals specifically on the unprogrammed fund, I will yield, Mr. President. Kasi kung ma-solve natin to, major to for
Yeah, I'll be more than
transparency.
happy, Mr. President, to share with the body yung reforms na ginawa natin sa program. So dati ang program meron doong 11 line items. Ang para sa akin, pinaka-controversial na line item doon, yung item called Sagip na in 2024, 225 billion pesos. In 2025, 160 billion pesos. Ito yung lump sum, Minority Leader. So for 2026, tinanggal na natin to. From 11 items, reduce natin to 7, of which 3 are considered cash, the 4 non-cash. So the 3 considered cash are yung foreign assisted projects, yung GOP counterpart, at yung AFP modernization program. So yeah, yung breakdown. Yung 4 na items are non-cash. They just need book entries para ma-record sa libro ng mga agencies. No, for example, for 2026, ang foreign assisted is about 97 billion pesos. Ito yung lahat ng mga loans na lalabas for 2026. Yung GOP counterpart of those loans is about 35 billion pesos. Tapos yung AFP modernization 30 billion pesos.
Yeah. So
wala na po yung sagip for 2026.
if the good chairman
If with the indulgence of our minority leader, may I be allowed to intervene, Mr. President, distinguished colleague? Distinguished colleague, you were saying yung sagip, it's just because that's just one component that I'm looking at
Yes.
when you talk about the unprogrammed funds,
Yes.
when you talk about the entire DPWH fund. But the DPWH fund is such a big component po eh. Iba-iba po, no?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, in the recent years, may DOTR, DSWD, and DepEd would receive the largest share,
Correct.
and mostly for capital outlay and infrastructure projects. Is that correct, Your Honor?
Tama.
Yeah, Your Honor, ngayon ho, 2025, and as mentioned already by our minority leader, this representation is very much interested in looking at this item in the budget, and I have been lobbying with our fellow senators here to look into this because this is very dangerous, Mr. President, as you're
Correct.
all aware
Tama.
of what happened to this representation. You look at 2023, for instance, Mr. President, the 2023 allocation for unprogrammed is 807 billion. In 2024, the allocation for unprogrammed is 731 billion. Would that be a correct statement, Mr. President?
Tama po.
Mr. President, now you look at the released funds. Released funds for 2023 is 332 billion pesos. Released funds in 2024 is 531 billion pesos under unprogrammed funds, Mr. President. This did not pass through the House or the Senate. Doon po sa 2023, flood control, 60 billion po yung nakalagay doon. Flood control lang. 2024, 155 billion unprogrammed. Release po ito, Mr. President. I'm not talking about allocation. Again, 244 billion release under DPWH, 155 billion flood control. Ang total release is 531 billion. Mr. President, what measures or safeguards are we looking at now? Because if this is the case, Mr. President, and we feel that if this particular program of the government is important, then we should not put it under unprogrammed, Mr. President.
Well, Mr. President, the safeguard is to remove it completely. So in 2026, we removed it completely, Mr. President.
In 2026.
Yes.
Because in the committee report that we're just talking about, there is a unprogrammed appropriations 474
Yes,
billion, Mr. President.
that's why the component of those unprogrammed is foreign assisted projects of 97 billion pesos, GOP counterpart of those foreign assisted projects of 35 billion pesos, and the AFP modernization program of 30 billion pesos.
That is that is satisfying, Mr. President,
Yes,
to hear
Mr. President.
from our chairman, and that is why we need this.
Correct.
We need this data, Mr. President. We cannot just rely on summaries, Mr. President, because if that is the case, I will definitely not support the unprogrammed item here in the budget, Mr.
Well,
President. So,
Mr. President, that's why during the Blue Ribbon hearing, we lumabas po doon kung paano po naabuso yung unprogrammed, and His Honor knows about the abuses that were made during the past. Kaya po tinanggal na po yung mga ibang components, especially po yung sagip. No, yun po yung tinanggal dahil yung sagip parang ginawa ng parang catch-all fund for all of the different expenses of government. Nandun na yung infrastructure, nandun na rin po yung kagaya ng sinabi niyo, yung DSWD, meron pa nga doon ICT, so naging catch-all na siya. But definitely nagastos po yan. Malaki doon na portion nagastos for infrastructure, especially flood control, Mr. President.
thank you very much, Mr. President. And that's really why I am allergic, Mr. President, to unprogrammed funds, because any Tom, Dick, or Harry can actually pinpoint anyone, a senator, for instance, that you would know after 2 years that you are part of the unprogrammed funds. Mr. President, just to put on record, Mr. President, ang unprogrammed funds, doon po sa mga pinapasa nating GAA, meron po siyang provision. Hindi ho ba na hindi ito kayang i-access ng isang tao lamang, gagawa ng proyekto, at kagaya po nung sinabi doon sa Blue Ribbon Committee, na pa-release po niya, Mr. President. Is that
Tama.
correct, Mr. President?
Tama po, doon sa mga previous. We also...
Do we have it still in
no, we don't
the-
have that anymore.
in this particular
Wala na po
2026
kasi limited
budget?
na ho yung use ng unprogrammed to foreign assisted projects and revised AFP modernization.
But
Mr.
we
President.
have a provision for the release of these funds, Mr. President, that indeed we put in, we usually put in our GAA that if there are excess revenue collection, new revenue
Yes.
collection, will that be part of this 2026
Yes, Mr. President,
GAA?
because that will be used to fund the foreign assisted projects and also the modernization program.
Yes, and I agree, Mr. President. And just to put again on record, nandyan po, Mr. President, excess revenue collection, new revenue collection, or those arising from new tax or non-tax sources, at yung approved loans for foreign assisted
Tama
projects.
ho
Is
kayo.
that correct? So
Tama.
again, Mr. President, it strengthen the idea on how we can access unprogrammed funds na hindi po ito maabuso
Tama
at
ho
hindi
kayo.
po pwedeng i-claim ng kahit sino o isang individual na tao.
Actually, Mr. President, His Honor's experience led to these representations, really reforming the unprogrammed. Talaga hong naabuso ho yan in the past. If my memory serves me correctly, yung 2024 ang flood control lumabas mga around 25 billion.
It's actually 155 billion, Your Honor. The
Tapos
flood
sa
control.
2020 from the unprogrammed. This is
Yes,
only from
this is
the
just for the unprogrammed, Mr.
In
President.
2025, if my memory serves me correctly, mga 85 billion yun eh. So talagang nagamit ho for flood control. Kaya tinanggal na ho natin yan based on your experience. Mr.
And this
President.
cannot be released by anyone, Mr. President.
In
It
tw-
has to be passed through the Department of Finance, the Department of Budget and
Actually,
Management.
DBM lang ho ang nagre-release, Mr. President. So certified by the BTR, and then after certification by the BTR, ibibigay na po sa ahensya, implementing agency, at yung implementing agency magre-request na sa DBM.
In short, walang kinalaman ng legislator, Mr. President.
Wala ho talaga.
Thank you,
Wala ho
Mr.
talaga.
President. Thank you, distinguished minority leader, for this short intervention.
So let's talk about options here, Mr. President, with your permission. So one option is tanggalin lahat ng unprogrammed, and pag nagkapera ang gobyerno, will pass a supplemental budget. That's inconvenient for the executive, but that's convenient but it's more transparent for everyone. Okay. The other one is that the Department of Finance or the DBCC simply say that magkano ba talaga dyan ang plano nila i-raise? Kasi am I wrong, Mr. President, that they can borrow money for this?
Yes, Mr. President, loan, the foreign assisted project.
So that's where the misunderstanding comes. Yung sagip at yung lump sum, klaro yung intention doon. If you think of regularity, the intention of lump sums kasi is flexibility during the year. So, pag hindi ko nilagyan ng mali siya, it's for flexibility. Nilagyan mo ng mali siya, yun nga, kasi nga, parang pork
naabuso.
barrel para pag may gusto kang i-release. Okay. Having said that, if the DBCC says we will fund it, hindi na siya unprogram. So ang point ko, Mr. President, is that let me ask another question. During the time of President Fidel V. Ramos, nung nagkaroon ng konting crunch because of the Asian crisis, di ba? Di ba nag-ano siya, mandatory 10% ata savings sa lahat ng agencies,
I
no?
think they called it austerity measures.
Yes.
yata. Yeah.
So, meaning, for example, no, if 10% ng 6.7 billion is trillion is 600 billion, which is much bigger than the unprogrammed. So, meaning the DBM or the Office of the President can always say, oy, lahat ng agencies, don't spend 3 to 5% of your budget, lalabas tong lahat. So, isn't it just better practice that when I say tanggalin ang unprogrammed, dalawang tanggalin, meaning minus 170 billion to 170 ngayon sa budget, or let's simply not call it unprogrammed fund. Kasi ang DBM naman magde-decide kung anong una nilang popondohan. So parang hindi ko mag-get yung point ngayon without yung kasing lump sum, nakukuha ko yung point eh. So let's say lump sum infrastructure. Popondohan muna nila lahat ng na-approve sa program. Kasi tingin nila, mas importante yon. Ngayon, pag sumobra pera, saka namin popondohan to. Pero katulad ng AFP modernization, are we saying it's second priority? I don't think any one of us is saying that, no?
No. Actually, in the committee report, Mr. President, or in this proposed version, itong second reading version natin, the AFP modernization, tinaasan ho natin by about 20 billion. But ang ask ng agency is about 90 billion because mayowa yung kanilang mga expenses. So, since limited po yung fiscal space, linagay na lang natin sa unprogrammed yung 30 billion. But dahil wala nang sagip, so mapopondohan na ngayon itong modernization.
Let me phrase it another way. Since 2022, how much of the unprogrammed fund have been funded? Senator Joel, you said kanina, no, na ang pinakamaliit, magkano? 100 plus billion? 3 years lang naman eh. 23, 24, 25.
On the average po, ang mga release nito about 200 million a year.
So,
Pero like for example, mga ganun po.
And this
On the
year,
average.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, magkano ang propose natin na unprogrammed sa Senate version?
For 2026,
Yes.
it's about 174.
Oh, so kung sure din naman na marirelease 200 billion every year, wag na natin tawagin unprogrammed. Total, ano naman eh, ang DBM naman magde-decide kung, so, halimbawa, sabihin natin, whether it's 90 billion or 120 billion yung AFP, hindi ba yung it's between the AFP na at saka DBM kung anong unang popondohan?
Yeah. May mga years rin po na mababa rin. Like for example po in 2020, 23 billion, 2021 54 billion, 2022 67 billion. So may mga years rin na mababa siya.
Yeah. I'll not belabor the point because I want to vote yes for this budget. But that's one of the constraints in voting for yes na yung unprogrammed kasi parang DAP din eh. Basta't nag-introduce tayo ng bagong term, hazy yung rules eh. even with a
Special provision.
special provision. Remember, this is an appropriation bill, so the president can veto line by line, no? And just like yung DAP, by the time the Supreme Court rules on it, it's for future guidance na lang eh, di ba? So, if someone brings a case about the unprogrammed, of course, the government will defend it, pero if we're going towards transparency, so babalik ako, di ba, na kung nag-agree tayo na dapat mag-decentralize, nag-agree tayo hindi panay Metro Manila, nag-agree tayo panay dapat train over highways and cars, the budget should reflect that eh. But it's not reflecting that, no? So I leave the unprogrammed. Do you want to state for the record
Well, Mr.
yung
President, that's why
special
I
provision?
share the
Yes,
same
go ahead.
feeling, Mr.
Yeah.
President, with the minority leader and with the deputy minority leader, Senator Joel. Kaya ho, during the Blue Ribbon hearing, lumabas nga ho doon na itong sagip, especially the sagip line item, nagagamit ho to sa mga flood control at other infrastructure project. At iba-iba pang mga projects, tinanggal na ho natin yan at linagay na sa program. Ang iniwan nilang yung foreign assisted project dahil yung mga foreign assisted projects ho, paglabas na ng 2026, dito lang ho magkakaroon ng pondo. No? So that's why traditionally, even in the past, linalagay po yung foreign assisted project po talaga sa program
Yeah.
because lumalabas siya during the year.
But the problem, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, is I'm not an accountant by profession. I'm not a numbers person, no. But I have been in this chamber and in the House of Representatives long enough to know that there are systems. For example, augmentation, di ba? The pag infrastructure program, you're allowed to augment 25 ba or 25 and 25 ulit.
No?
Ano ba yung present rule ngayon?
Augmentation. Anong ceiling nun?
So we don't have to say the exact amount, but I'll give you an example, no?
Yeah.
So kung may unprogrammed tayo 170 billion, magkasobrang pera, and then meron, let's say, flood control na 1 billion, without anyone knowing it, of course, it's in the reports, pero napakaraming report ngayon, ang hirap bantayan lahat. Pwede ka maglagay ng 250 million na may alam lang yung agency at saka DBM. Diba? So that's what I meant, that part of transparency is simplifying our process. Naintindihan ko naman yung intent ng augmentation, ha? Kasi kung halimbawa, whatever reason, di ba, nagkabagyo doon, nasira yung port, so ngayon may double handling or whatever, yung materials tumaas. So 5% na lang tapos na yung project, hihintay mo pa ba yung next budget cycle bago mo tapusin? So hindi masama per se yung augmentation. But I'm saying if you have a combination of loans that we will find out. Remember my point about the loans, no? When we borrow money, Congress doesn't know until the year after or until we start paying for it. So we're talking about a 6.7 trillion budget, di ba? Now, but in reality, I don't know how much we're borrowing next year. In reality, it could be 20 billion, it could be 300 billion, it could be 500 billion. So in reality, the interplay of all of these funds juggling from one to ang hirap bantayan.
Yes, tama ho kayo.
And let me just put this on the record because I feel strongly about this. Nung araw kasi may referee. Halimbawa, investigative journalism o kaya yung sa media, iimbitahin yung expert. Ngayon, it's more of doubling down on what you assert, whether tama't hindi. And maraming influencers are disguised as political analyst or nasa media. Hindi ko nilalahat, ha. Siyempre yung ating main traditional radio, whether it's Bombo, RMN, DZRH, di ba? Our main stations, GMA7, etc. I'm not talking about per se our traditional media. I'm talking about yung atmosphere natin ngayon, di ba? So ang daling baliin ang truth at ang daling tanggalin yung transparency kung complicated yung systems natin. Diba? So if there's only one way na lalabas yung pondo, program, that's pero may program, tapos merong augmentation, tapos meron din basta sa executive department, diba? The Constitution allows the president to move around some funds.
Yeah. Pag may
Around-
savings.
Yes, arouse and savings, moving target din yung definition. Kasi the DBM can actually say, hindi na maganda tong project na to, walag ng tuloy, magiging savings na na iyon, di ba? Of course, binabantayan ko rin yung announcement ni Secretary Vince na mataas ang DUPA. So bababa dapat ang presyo ng lahat ng infra. So if we keep it that way, he'll have a lot of savings. Kung masyado naman mababa, problema din kasi walang magagawang project ang ating bansa. So I think I'm emphasizing kung gaano ka precarious ang situation natin.
Correct.
We want transparency, we want to take out graft and corruption, but we also want to perform. Kasi kung tanggalin mo lahat ng graft and corruption, wala namang magawang project, that's a form of graft for me. Natanggal mo yung corruption pero may graft. So the perfect mix is tama ang presyo, transparent, pero nagawa yung project, di ba? And parati ko yung example diyan, yung favorite ni Senator Bam, classrooms, di ba? Kasi kung tama yung presyo, pero walang nagawa, ang estudyante siksikan for the next 1-2 years, di ba? Pagka namang super overpriced, yung sanang ginawa mong 2 building, 1 building lang nagawa. So we want to find the perfect mix na walang corruption pero nagawa. 'Di ba? Pero pag sinobrahan mo yung bawas sa pondo, walang magagawa kasi walang contractor na nakukuha. 'Di ba? Pag kinorap mo naman, it's not only a corruption problem, it's a nasisira yung social contract between the government and people want to rebel, 'di ba? And then sa ibang bansa were depicted as we can explain all we want that ine-expose nga, inaayos nga yung corruption, di ba? Pero yung news sa abroad, hindi natin kontrolado yon, di ba? And of course, there's competition. Dito lang sa Southeast Asia, we're all competing for foreign investments from Japan, from China, from Europe, from the US, di ba? So, in boardrooms all over, nagbubulong, huwag kayo pupunta sa Pilipinas kasi dito ka pumunta sa bansa namin. That's normal. Di ba? Because we're made in the image of the US, we have always whispered, if you want a democratic setup, same sa US, transparent, come to the Philippines. No? Which brings my point to Singapore. No? When Singapore was in very much a precarious situation, problema kasi multi-ethnic, multi-religious, problema nila sa Malaysia, walang natural resources. They turn to tourism. But I can't figure out why it's so clear to us that for every 2 tourists to 3 tourists, 1 Filipino job. And we all agree whether you go to Baguio sa traditional kabayuhan, whether you Wright Park, whether you go to yung mga inayos na ngayon sa Baguio, whether you go to Siargao, of course, the favorites, Boracay, Palawan, but anywhere you go, no? My sister in younger days loved mountain climbing, and the more walang walang kuryente, walang di ba? The more that it's pure nature,
More rustic.
more rustic, mas maganda. And may ganun market din sa backpackers, di ba? But of course, yung Southeast Asia ngayon, more Chinese market na high-end shopping din, no? But if you compare kasi, ang layo talaga eh. Yung Thailand, 40 million na yung tourist, mahigit tayo, 7. But ang budget ng ating Department of Tourism is only 4.1 billion. So, I'm not proposing any amendments now. Maybe something for us to think about pagdating sa BICAM, but parang it doesn't make sense to me na whether it's traditional tourism, agri-tourism, sports tourism, ecotourism, Senator Legarda has always espoused, di ba, yung ecological balance, pero pwede naman ang ecotourism. Pero kung ganito budget ng DOT, no, I'm hoping to pa rin ni Secretary Vince Dizon yung sinabi niyang ang uunahin niya sa budget ng DPWH yung magko-connect sa airports, land ports, seaports, and tourism areas. But we know hindi ganun ang dynamic sa ating bansa. It's very hard to tell everyone, sandali this 1 year, eto muna. Kasi everyone has their pet projects. And hindi ko minamaliit yung may sports complex kasi sabi mo sa bata, wag mag-drugs, wala naman sports complex, di ba? Or sa mga magsasaka na halos hindi mag-exist, di ba? Whether it's solar dryers or whatever, mahirap ganon. But without prioritizing and with a budget of only 4.1 billion, I really don't see, and then with our present stance, which is going towards the US, mas malayo sa ating kasi ang Europe. So Thailand sila. Ang Indian, napakarami din pera, pero they're further than us. So with the present atmosphere with the Chinese, ang pag-asa natin na lumaki yung ating tourism is the Japanese, Koreans,
North Asia.
Southeast Asia. Yes,
Hong
and then hopefully you have
North
6
Asia.
million PhilAms you have 10 million OFWs abroad. Umuwi lang ng once a year yon, magsama lang ng isang boss nila, that's another 10 million tourists. Pero paano magagawa yon kung ang budget ng tourism ay budget ng isang congressional district?
Actually, I share the same sentiment, Mr. President, na low-hanging fruit ho talaga ang tourism. At kahit na may challenges ho tayo sa Chinese market, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung pagpunta ng Japanese market, ng Korean market. One untapped market nakikita ko is Australia dahil medyo malapit-lapit sa atin, no? Malapit-lapit at high income. So yun po yung mga markets na pwede nating matap outside of China, Mr. President.
May I know whether we are restoring all of the funds for PhilHealth and magkano yon? Because I know for a fact that Senator Pia 2004, between 2005, 2006 yung earmarking.
Yes.
And since then, binantayan yon. So I'm aware of the 60 billion that everyone says isole. But I think if you do all the computations ng mga earmarking, much more than
something.
that ang
Yeah.
dapat ibigay
Correct.
ng gobyerno sa PhilHealth. May I know what's the amount na dapat ibigay sa PhilHealth and how much we are giving to PhilHealth?
If I'm not mistaken, natatandaan ko sa presentation ni Senator P is about 200 billion? 296, no? 296 billion. Correct. Correct. So ito yung mga kasi ang nangyayari, may earmarking pero hindi naman nabibigay yung buong amount. So I think from the presentation, I remember from 2022, 2023, nag-compound na siya to 296 billion. So for this year, naglagay ang sa National Expenditure Program ng 60 billion at ang 53 at inaugmented ho yan ng 60 billion.
Yeah. So sa 290, how much are we actually giving in 2026? The 290 includes the 60 or
Yes,
includes
kailangan
the
na po.
60?
But yan din po ang concern ni Senator Rizon Tiveros, of course Senator Pia, and Senator Lauren during the plenary debates. At sabi ko dapat mapag-usapan natin to in the next few years kung paano magkaroon tayo ng some form of yearly allocation para mapuno natin yung gaps and also yung mga hindi na-remit in the past. No?
So 3 points I want to make.
Can I just give the
Yes,
right
please,
figures,
please,
no,
yes.
to be clear?
Senator Pia Cayetano, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to be clear, no, yung 60 billion na binalik ng